What's going on, everyone? I am just a typical, average American here today to react to Doug Ford taking a little jab at Trump. So today, I want to check out this video where Doug Ford was answering some questions about the United States and Canada, and apparently one of his answers kind of roasted Trump a little bit. So I'm really curious about this. I want to see what this is all about. So let's take a look.
We saw Trump use language about drug smuggling, foreshadowing what happened in the weekend in Venezuela. We heard him use language about critical minerals in Greenland and how he wants Greenland. We have oil, we have critical minerals. He has spoken about one.
I see exactly where they're going with this, and I wouldn't blame any Canadian for being extremely concerned about this exact train of thought. Like, I am very concerned about this. I'm sure a lot of you have heard that the United States, did all that stuff to Venezuela and has been very much threatening Greenland in a very, very real way, even implying military action on Greenland recently. And it all begs the question, like, where does it end? And on top of that, like, Trump has made it pretty clear in the last year that he's very, very interested in Canada as well. So it's like, given everything that's happened recently, like, it's got to be very, very, very nerve-wracking, I'm sure, for a lot of Canadians, and even for me as well, as an American who doesn't agree with a lot of the stuff that's going on. So yeah, I'm interested to hear like what Canadians have to say about all this. And Doug Ford, a Canadian representative.
Oil, we have critical minerals. He has spoken about wanting to annex Canada. Are you? Does that frighten you at all?
No, it's not going to frighten me. It shouldn't frighten anyone in Canada. What he should be focusing on getting a deal done. We're their number one customer. They're our number one customer. There isn't a governor, Republican or Democrat, senator or congressperson that doesn't agree. You can't.
That's a very good point. I don't know if I agree that nobody should be afraid of this sentiment at all. I think just being realistic, it's something you gotta at least like consider and think about. But yeah, I totally understand what he's saying as well, and that's a very good point. And honestly, it's it's the much more rational approach to this whole situation, which is, in a funny way, maybe that's why I don't have as much hope in it. Because the rational, common sense approach to everything that's been going on, the trade situation between Canada and the US, the intelligent, approach where each of our countries comes to the table and talks about it and works out a deal that's mutually beneficial, that's way too productive and way too, sensible for Trump to do. That's is it not insane that that's where we're at, unfortunately? But yeah, in a perfect world, he's absolutely correct. Like that, our countries are each other's like best customers for a lot of different products and services, and he's absolutely correct about that. And it's a damn shame what has happened between our two countries. He's definitely right, and I hope that this is what comes to pass.
You can't unscramble an egg that's been around and integrated.
Hold on, what about an egg? What? Hold on, what about an egg?
Person that doesn't agree. You can't unscramble an egg that's been around and integrated for decades. You got to make the omelet larger, and that's.
Huh. I'm very hungry now. I see what he's getting at. That's an interesting analogy. The old scrambled egg. analogy. That would probably, blow Trump's mind. You're like, he's like, I want to take over Greenland. I want to have Canada. I want all of North America. And you're like, but what about scrambled eggs? What about we are an omelet? And he just wouldn't know what to do. He wouldn't know how to process that information. It might be a good strategy. Um, Joking aside, he's obviously saying that the United States and Canada are like our economies, for example, our trade, our countries are so intertwined and so many things that have been set up over the course of so many years that link us together. And so, yeah, we're scrambled eggs together. We're so interlinked. We're so connected. That's not just going to be undone overnight, but also I do believe Canada is making a lot of steps now to unscramble the egg, for lack of a better analogy. Canada is trying to distance itself from the United States, though, right?
That's what we're going to do. But I'm not going to worry about President Trump. I'm going to worry about what we can do, how we can diversify our trade. Let's not be so reliant on one country. If there was one thing, only one thing, President Trump has done good for Canada, he woke us up. He woke us up and united us. So that's the best thing President Trump could have ever done. And we're going to go full steam.
Whoa! Okay, I think that's the burn right there. Wow. That's a really good point. Not necessarily one that I've thought about very much, but I that actually is a really good point. Are there a lot of Canadians out there who kind of agree with this sentiment? You should thank Trump in a way, not really, but in a way, for just waking you up, just or rather giving Canada an incentive or to distance itself from the United States, to become less reliant on the United States. For the longest time, a lot of countries have been reliant on the United States. And don't get me wrong, we we definitely rely on a lot of countries for a lot of things, goods and resources. And with the tariffs, a lot of that is getting very screwed up. And Trump actually thinks that it's going well, that we no longer import cheap, high quality goods. Somehow that's a good thing. Anyway, that's a really interesting perspective. That as much damage that Donald Trump has done to our two countries, in a way, Canada can kind of thank him for giving you the opportunity to, become less reliant on the United States, or perhaps making it clear that you can't trust us. This is very odd, very and difficult, for me to actually admit as an American myself. It's weird to talk about my country like this, but given the actions that the U.S. government has done and the policies that we're in, a lot of the decisions that we're making, it's almost like an out of body experience, an out of country experience. Even I can step back and look at the US and be like, I can absolutely see why Canada is glad to be moving away a bit, stepping back, maybe getting different trade partners, becoming less reliant on the US for things. Yeah, that's a really good point, and really, at the same time, really sad for America, because selfishly, other countries being reliant on us for stuff, that's very, very good for the US. It's good to have other countries be reliant on you for things. That's good for you. It means you have leverage, you can make money, yeah. So we've really screwed ourselves in a lot of ways, and Canada seems to have really woken up and just like is just running with it. Just like, okay, F you. Like we'll go do our own thing. Like, see ya. Whereas I think Trump thought that would never happen somehow.
He woke us up. He woke us up and he's united us. So that's the best thing President Trump could have ever done. And we're going to go full steam. But
I bet that would really piss off Trump to hear. Because that's like, I think for him, that's like one of the most insulting things you could do for Trump. To like, he thinks he gotcha. Like he's the master of deals, the master of negotiations, the master of pressure and strong arming. And Canada is just like, thank you. Thanks for showing us exactly what you are. Thank you. Okay, we're going to do what we need to do now. Bye. Like, that's a really good response, honestly.
yeah, I had an opportunity to think over the holiday season, and I'm thinking, where were we last year compared to this year? Last year, we had President Trump just got elected, getting sworn in, put a full attack on our country, on our province.
True.
And we had no federal government. So compared to now, we had uncertainty. And we were out there saying, oh, Canada's great, and this is the reason you should make a trade deal. And we didn't know the rules. Well, we learned the rules with President Trump. There are no rules with President Trump.
I was just about to say, have you learned the rules? Absolutely. That is 1,000% correct. The rules are there are no rules. And I think the most annoying thing about some of the stuff Trump does and says is that for him, the rules are Trump can do whatever he wants. And if you dare do anything in retaliation, it like that, he says that's not fair and you're very, very bad and evil. And it's like, wait, you did it first. Like, and they're just responding. What we're the only ones that are allowed to like protest something or do trade deals with or determine the rules of the game. It's like, I can see where that's real frustrating. So yeah, this is pretty eye-opening actually to hear like a Canadian talk about this. You guys clearly do understand exactly what's going on.
So as we move forward throughout the year, and as we move forward for this year, we're going to focus on what we can do to continue to thrive and prosper, how we can work collaboratively with all the provincial governments and the federal government as well. I can feel it. I can really feel it out there that we're going to have a very positive 2026. But that's that's without saying that there's going to be bumps, but we're going to get through them. You know, we have an important mandate, and that mandate is to protect the people of Ontario from the uncertainty, as I said, in the upheaval that President Trump caused. But we're going to focus on what we can do, and we're doing it.
Yeah, that's well said. I like a lot of what he said here today. And that's a really big distinction right there. Like, it sounds like last year especially, Canada was mostly focused on like rightfully so, like responding to the United States. And also I saw a bunch of stuff about how Canada is doing a lot to try to make a trade deal, and the US and Trump is just ignoring it and kind of childishly. And now I think it sounds like Canada is just over it. Like, I know you guys, the tourism is way down. Canadians aren't traveling here like they used to and not buying American goods and services. And I think it's moved on from like the betrayal, the US like betraying Canada and Canada kind of being shocked and maybe even trying to remedy the situation, make a deal. I think it's starting to sound like that it's just moved on and Canada is like, forget it. Like, we don't have to care about what Trump thinks or does. It's like, we don't have to live our life that way. We can just do what's best for us and look for other trade partners and focus on things in Canada and growing our economy. And that makes all the sense in the world to me. And it sounds like a very good plan for Canada. And it's the frustrating thing as an American is that's all bad for the United States. Again, like selfishly, very selfishly, if we're just looking objectively, Canada being reliant on the United States is very good for the United States. But you're not reliant on us anymore. So what the hell? What was the plan here? If anything, at best, maybe down the line, Canada will be in a better position than it would have been. So maybe you should thank Donald Trump for. We'll see. We'll see. I don't want to go too far on that, but I don't know. This was very eye-opening and interesting what Doug Ford had to say here, and he definitely kind of roasted Trump a bit there, with also a very good talking point, too. So anyway, if you enjoyed this, feel free to give this video a like, or leave a comment, especially if you're Canadian, what you think about all this. This affects you. I'm kind of speculating a bit on what Canadians are thinking about this situation, so it'd be cool to hear from real Canadians out there about this. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Canadian things that I've never seen before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.